All right. So the question is, how do I suggest approaching private lenders? Well, okay. So you know, my the answer, like every real estate question I have, right? The answer is it depends. So the way that I suggest approaching private lenders, it depends on the relationship that you have with that lender. If you have, perhaps you have no relationship with the private lender, you have a little bit of a relationship. It kind of just depends, right? And so, my old high school football coach used to say, I treat everybody different with the same set of rules, right? And I use that with my kids. Like some of my kids have different personalities. They have the same set of rules around our house, but I treat them and talk to them differently depending on their personality. So it's kind of like that way with private lenders, right? I have, private lenders that will come to me that are referred to a friend. I have private lenders that I've had previous relationship with that I've known in the past, but now either, they've engaged with me, they're asking questions, and so now that's a different relationship. I'm going to treat them a little bit differently. But the most important thing I would say is when you're approaching private lenders, okay, let me go back a little bit actually. What you want to work towards building, okay, what you want to work towards building in your business, though, even more so, is building a business where private lenders are approaching you, okay? What you really want to, I'm just going to throw that out there for everyone to think about, is you want to build a business where private lenders are approaching you. And you do that by leading with value, providing information, education, resources, training, case studies, et cetera, right? Explaining to private lenders, educating them on the opportunity of private lending. What is so good about it? What is so great about it? How do they, analyze deals? How do they analyze borrowers? How do they safeguard their investment? When the more time that you spend educating lenders, right, and leading with value, the more that you do that, the more likely you are you're going to be approached by lenders. And that's what I started doing years ago. It's like, hey, how can I have lenders chase me? Or how can I have lenders approach me? And the way that you do that is by you create value and you create you add value to the marketplace. So lenders are now approaching you. When the lenders are approaching you, it's a whole different dynamic. Okay, we actually have our lenders fill out an application to lend with us. It's a different psychology. It's a different mindset. So that, man, I really want to get into Brant's pipeline of lenders. So just think about that, okay? So now whenever you're approaching someone, now what you are doing is you've put yourself, right? You're not in the authority position, right? Like the lender is, right? And so you're chasing after them. So that's a whole different dynamic. So what you want to do when you're in that seat, and I'm that's okay if you are, that's how everyone for the most part starts. That's how I started, was basically chasing lenders, asking for loans, asking for money. I realized I didn't like that approach, but when I was in that position in my business, one of the most critical things to answer this question is how do I suggest approaching private lenders is you want to spend more time listening than talking. Okay, you want to ask a lot of questions. You want to understand first. The Stephen Covey, seek first to understand, then be understood. So you want to spend a lot of time discussing with them what are their goals, what are their fears, what are their concerns, what's their experience, what do they like, what do they dislike, and just figure out where they're at and make sure it's a good fit, right? Because what a lot of investors do will spend so much time, vomiting from the mouth, like blah, 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 this and this about their business and how excited they are and how great it is, da, 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 da. And they don't really spend the time to listen, right? Like it actually may not be a good fit for that lender to invest with you or vice versa. So what I really, really suggest is asking a lot of open-ended questions, getting to know them, getting to understand them, figuring out what moves their needle. Like I said, what are their concerns, what are their doubts, or what are their fears, and what are their goals? And if you can drastically reduce or just eliminate their fears that they may have, right? And show them that how you can deliver or over deliver on their goals, that they're seeking to achieve through private lending, then 9 times out of 10, you're going to get that lender to move forward. And that's what you need to do. And then there's follow up, and there's psychology, things in NLP and how you do sentence structure and things like that I'm not going to get into. But if you are leading with value, looking to serve, looking to help authentically, like I always say, private money is attracted to two things: good deals and good people. So if you're operating that way, it's going to be a piece of cake.